Man, I don't know how I'm supposed to follow that right there. Honestly, man, first thing I thought about just sitting here was Jamie's speech. And just hearing about the depression and other obstacles you faced. Don't be afraid to lean on your Georgia Tech family when things like that happen. I know for me, no matter where I go, no matter how many great things I do in the NBA, I'm always Jarrett Jack from Georgia Tech. It's almost like an extended last name. They say it all together. I don't know why. I don't know why, but, that's just what it is. And for me, even since leaving in '05, I've made Atlanta my home. And it wasn't so much about the city, but it was about the great relationships, the name I was able to have in this town, and that came from just being a part of this Georgia Tech culture. And I couldn't thank the institution and you guys enough. So in tough times, man, don't be afraid. That's what everybody in this room here is all about. I want to thank all of the former players for giving me something to want to be a part of. Without your contributions, I met guys that I used to look up in the rafters and just think about, like guys like Roger Kaiser, who I met on the way in, guys like Stephon Marbury, who was my personal favorite growing up, and wanting to emulate and wanting to be like you guys and possibly being able to be mentioned in the same breath as y'all. It's extremely humbling to be inducted into the Hall of Fame here. This isn't your usual or typical type of university. Yeah, we know about the athletic things that come with it, but as far as us also being Hall of Fame in the classroom was required as well. And, it was some tough times as far as trying to stay afloat, being a student athlete or an athletic student, if however you want to put it. Guys like Troy Peace, our academic advisor, who I'm sure he got many phone calls and many random text messages. Troy, I don't know, man. I don't know what you can do, but talk to the professor for me if you can. Man, but in all seriousness, man, juggling all the personalities that you did, all, 15 of us, making sure we were on class, understanding that those things were so vital for our future and vital for whatever we wanted to achieve going forward, man. So thank you. My journey to Georgia Tech, as my dad stated, I moved around a lot in high school, different schools in different states. But I'm happy to say when I got here, man, it was just a sense of easiness. I just felt at home. I felt a calm. I had a guy like Coach Hewitt come to my parents and tell them, your son is going to be in the best possible hands, and I'm here to tell y'all he didn't let y'all down. Damn, Dad, you crying? You getting me? Man, being a freshman point guard playing under Coach Hewitt isn't easy. And who's to say that I, made it easy at times as well, but he stuck with me through it all, through the good, the bad, ups and downs. Whether it was basketball or anything else otherwise, he just believed in me. He believed in the person, he believed in me as the player, and coming from where I come from, that doesn't happen a lot. You know what I'm saying? So for somebody who didn't know me from nothing, to put that type of belief in me to make me achieve my dream, like it didn't have anything to do with any of his personal goals. It was about the dreams that I had set out for myself and him being selfless enough to work with me to help achieve those goals. Like, I'm just forever grateful for that, and I appreciate it. All right, let me get back together. Let me get my cool back going now. Coming to school, I was fortunate to come in school with 3 other freshmen who didn't know anything like I didn't. One, Chris Bosch. What can I say about him? How he's gone on and represented this university and represented himself. NBA champion, Olympian, perennial all-star. I was in his wedding. One of my best friends, man, but just want to say thank you, man. I don't know if you know, but my work ethic, people describe me as a gym rat, somebody that never wants to leave the gym. Like, you were responsible for a lot of that. I remember coming into school, Chris was basically, he was an NBA draft pick that had to go to college, pretty much. So, it was like a foregone conclusion that, he was going to be here for about 45 minutes and then he was going to go do his thing. But I remember one day, man, we had finished practice, we had individuals, we did a study hall, and it's about 9:30. Needless to say, like, I'm tired at this particular point. And I see Chris, he got his book bag, hat on backwards, and he out the door, and I'm like, where you about to go? Because, he was packing to go somewhere. I was like, what are you doing? He was like, man, I'm about to go to the gym and get another workout in. And I was like, if this kid is already pretty much a lock to be in the NBA, and his appetite wasn't satisfied, I'm like, I can't be satisfied. Not as his teammate, not as a leader, and I just felt like I wasn't going to do myself justice. And from that day forth, from tagging along with him to the gym, that's pretty much where you can find me ever since. Either there or a Chick-fil-A drive-thru is one of the two places you could find me. To my guy Doc, I don't know if he's in attendance, man, but there were many late nights where I would go to the gym and shoot in the dark. I didn't know how to turn the lights on. I wasn't familiar with none of that. But growing up where I grew up, shooting in the dark was like doing a left-hand layup. So. And, they were nice, but I'd just be in the gym, and I guess Doc heard the ball bouncing, and he would just flick the lights on. I don't know if he had, like, a back mattress set up in the gym or whatever, but Doc was always there, man, and it was those late nights, those nights where I didn't have to be in there, that I thought I really, really separated myself or allowed my game to grow in that aspect. And, Doc, I'll forever appreciate you for that. To the medical staff, if any of you are in here, man, I know I saw Dr. Rhino over there. Our bodies is our temple, man. And when we come in there with these aches and pains from Coach Hewitt practicing us 3 hours, man, you guys help us, get back to it as fresh as possible, man. And no matter what time we came down there, no matter what the injury was, we were always confident that you guys were going to be able to keep us together, man. So I really appreciate y'all. To all the professors working with us, knowing that the schedule that us as student athletes have isn't the norm. And, coming to college, I was told that, some professors kind of resent athletes because they think they have a sense of entitlement. And for me here, man, it was the total opposite. Staying long hours with me, understanding that we had a schedule where we might have got in late from a game or had to leave early from class, and letting us extend study hall hours or having other options for us to kind of get our work done. For a lot of guys who weren't able to go into professional ranks, I can say on behalf of them that I really appreciate you guys for that. To the coaching staff, Coach Harris, Coach Keener, Coach Reese, Coach Warren, a lot of long film sessions, but you guys push me each and every day, not allowing me to settle for mediocre, all right, or even great sometimes. They wanted me to go above and beyond, and, just being that extension of Coach Hewitt, maybe not speaking to me as harshly, but but it was all necessary, man. Me and Coach Warren, let's just say he was more so my position coach. Probably the person whose nerves I got on the most. I heard him say this about Jamie earlier. I also suffered from that freshman stubbornness. Just being a young kid, not knowing much, but thought you knew everything. And if it wasn't for Coach Warren, man, really just sitting down, taking time out of his schedule. I know we spoke a lot of off-the-clock hours. That's probably why he never had a girlfriend. Putting up with us, man. Putting up with us. That's no shot to Coach Warren. He's a great guy. He's married now. But just always being available. I mean, that was more so or less what it is. You know, he didn't have to put those extra hours in for us, and he did, you know, without any nudge from anywhere. You know, just always wanting us to be better, wanting more for us than sometimes we probably even knew how to get for ourselves. To my teammates, the squad, man, some of the most memorable memories I've had being a basketball player in my life, man. Like I said, every time people see me is, yo, you Jarrett Jack from Georgia Tech. I remember that team, man, the 03 team, the 04 team, the other team from 05, and I just got to say thank you to y'all, man. You know, without y'all pushing me every day in practice, Mario got me kicked out of practice on my birthday, but for nothing bad. You know, he was a guy that hustled his heart out, no matter what the situation was. A guy who came to school as a walk-on, earned his way to be a scholarship player, was able to materialize that into playing into the NBA with all the odds against him. And that day in practice, man, he got the better of me. I'm going to just say it. Throwing out of practice on my birthday. Valuable, but a very valuable learning experience, man. Little Dave and Big Dave, guys of few words, but you taught me so much in your actions. Always being prepared to show up for practice or games. Just the professionalism that you guys carry with yourselves. Like I said, you probably taught me more than you ever know. BJ, Ishmael, Tony McHenry, my roommates for the majority of college, where I got all my bad habits from. Man, happy to call these dudes brothers, man. Along with Will Bynum, who's also in training camp with us with the Atlanta Hawks right now. Hard to believe that it was 12 years ago, man, and we were all in college, you know, representing this thing called Georgia Tech, man, not knowing what the future held for us. And 12 years later, seeing these guys have the same pride, representing this place, reliving some of those old stories, it's something that just fills my heart, man. Guys have shown so much growth personally, professionally, and I'm always proud of y'all, man. I guess I can give y'all one classified story. Lynn, you'll be proud of this. Me and Clarence Moore, it's the Elite Eight, and we're about to play Kansas. The winner of this game goes to the Final Four. And me and Mo, for whatever reason on this trip, we're roommates. And I looked at Mo, I said, Mo, I don't know if you're ready, but tomorrow we're gonna beat Kansas, we're gonna cut these nets down. Mo said, yeah, I'm with you. I said, Mo, I don't think you with me. I said, Mo, we cutting these nets down. He said, J. Jack, I'm with you. Now, for whatever reason, me and Mo felt inclined to go tell the rest of the team. In doing so, we open up our hotel door, we get the room list, we go bang on every door, every teammate's door with the chant going of, we cutting these nets down, screaming at the top of our lungs. For whatever reason, I don't know. Probably about 5 minutes later, it's now 15 of us in the hallway chanting, we cutting the nets down. We then decided to go to, I believe it was either Coach Keener or Coach Harris's room. When we bang on his door, his wife opens the door. To 15 shirtless, or maybe we had on shirts, I'm not sure. Chanting, we're gonna cut the nets down, and after that, somebody said, let's go to Coach Hewitt's room. That's when it quickly dispersed after that. We wasn't doing that. We knew when to shut it down right there. But it was just us, man, banding together. And that next day, when we played Kansas and we were an underdog to the mighty Kansas Jayhawks, and we beat them handily, taking us to the Final Four. And for us, it wasn't a shock because we knew whether it was long practices, going out to eat, arguments sometimes, or even running down hotel hallways chanting, we're going to cut the nets down, we were going to be together no matter what. And it wasn't a surprise to us that the things we accomplished during that year. So, guys, man, I'm forever grateful for y'all. The memories we had on the court, they last forever, and the ones that we're going to have going forward, man, I'm looking forward to them. And lastly, my immediate family, my mom, dad, my brother, my sister. I tore my ACL in January, and it was the first time I was ever relegated to having to use crutches. But nothing was better than the crutch I had in my family. No matter good games, bad games, they always had a confidence in me that maybe sometimes I didn't have in myself, making me believe I was the best player that they had ever seen and an even better person. So when you see me and people say, yo, you're always in a good mood, or it's because of, that backbone that I had as a family that always showed me positive love, always had positive energy with me. And the sacrifices they went through, I know my mom growing up, she used to make sure me and my brother, and my mom used to make sure me and my brother had any and everything possible. But I knew growing up, for us to have that, I know they went without, just to make sure we was good. And that was nothing they ever had to do. So that selflessness that you may see now in front of me was something that I was shown and I was taught at a very, very early age. And I just want to thank them for the examples that they've always been, the ones that you're continuing to be. I appreciate y'all. I love you, and go Jackets.